What's up, guys? Just Josh here coming at you guys with another album review for the first time in, I don't know, like 10 years. Sorry, I'm lazy. But anyways, today I'm going to be reviewing Chimaira's debut EP, This Present Darkness. This EP was released on January 11th, 2000. So that means it's 21 today. I've been wanting to review this album for a while, and I figured no better time to do it than on its 21st anniversary, which is actually really cool. This is not the original EP. I did get this bundled with the Dehumanizing Process DVD. So as you can see, it comes on the other side here, and you got the DVD right there. This is actually a really good documentary. I did buy it just for the EP, but it's actually a very good documentary. It takes you through the recording process, touring process, making of their second album, The Impossibility of Reason. Great documentary. It's actually really funny. And it actually comes with some liner notes and more information about this EP, which is really cool. The EP that comes with the DVD is remixed and remastered, and it has 2 new tracks never before heard, which I think is really cool. And like I said, it's probably the only way you can get this EP without spending hundreds of dollars, because the original copy from 2000 is very expensive. I've seen it go for like upwards of $1,000. That's how rare it is. Which I don't know who would want to spend $1,000 on this. It's a great EP, don't get me wrong, but $1,000, that's ridiculous. You're better off just finding a used copy of this DVD, which is what I did. Got it for around 20 bucks, and you get this EP with it. It's actually really cool. It doesn't come with its own case, though. I made this case, it just comes with the CD. All their CDs look like this, by the way. You got the color relating to the album art. You got the album title right here, if you can see that. This Present Darkness, and then you got the Chimaira logo. I got my copy of Pass Out right here, as you can see. The cover's blue, so the CD's blue, and you got the name of the album right there. And then finally, you got the Dehumanizing Process DVD, which follows the same design, which I think is really cool. So yes, I printed out the cover with iTunes. It's got all the song names right here, and then I put it in a slim jewel case. So yes, you don't get an actual CD case for This Present Darkness with the DVD. You just get the CD itself. So if you want to put it in a case, you're going to have to make it yourself, which is really not that hard. So I'm going to get into some brief history about Chimaira and this EP, and then I'm going to go track by track like I always do. Tell you my thoughts on each song, and then I'm going to give it an overall score at the end. So, some short history about Chimaira. They are an American band from Cleveland, Ohio. They've been labeled many different genres throughout their tenure. Their earlier albums are considered nu metal / groove metal, definitely more Korn, Deftones, Slipknot inspired. And then later, they moved more into some groove thrash metalcore territory, inspired by the likes of Machine Head, Sepultura, Pantera. And their name is derived from the monstrous creature in Greek mythology known as the Chimaira, that has the body of a lion, the head of a goat, and then a tail that resembles a snake's head. They thought this was a good name choice because they felt that they are like the Chimaira monster. They combine many different genres, many different influences into their own beast, if you will. Very fitting name. And they are sadly not together anymore. They dissolved in 2014. They did have a one-off reunion show in 2017. They were actually planning to have another reunion show for Christmas of 2020, because they liked to do Chimaira Christmases every year and play one long show, but that fell through because of the pandemic situation. But they are hoping to come back this year for Christmas 2021, which I really hope it happens. I want to see Chimaira, man. From what I've seen in the live videos, they just crush live, and it would be amazing to see. Now, some information about This Present Darkness. Like I said, it came out 21 years ago to the day, January 11th, 2000. Their debut EP, as of 2007, it has sold over 10,000 copies. And 2 songs from the EP, Painting the White to Grey and Sphere, were re-recorded for their 2001 major label debut album, Pass Out of Existence. This was because Roadrunner required them to have 14 songs for the purpose of mechanical royalties, whatever the hell that means. So they re-recorded 2 of the songs on This Present Darkness, and also they threw in an interlude called Abeo. So that's about it for the history of Chimaira and the EP. Just wanted to keep it brief so this review is not too long. So let's get in to the track-by-track review. Starting this EP off, we have the title track, This Present Darkness, which I'm going to be actually playing that after I do my track-by-track review, so you guys can hear what the album sounds like. So I'll be playing the title track, and then I will give my final verdict after the track-by-track review, which was what you're seeing now, obviously. So it starts off with this 40-second intro of very tribal drumming in the background. You got the dum 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 every so seconds, and then it's very hard to describe. You got some sampled stuff in there, you got some wind instruments, it almost sounds like. It's very difficult to describe. You'd have to really listen to it, like I'm going to play it for you later rather. So then after 40 or so seconds, like I said, it breaks into this heavy chugging riff that just builds and builds and builds until finally you get the vocals isolated for a second, and then the instrumental breaks in. All hell breaks loose. Seems like a song about depression, angst, and all that, which is mostly what Chimaira talks about on this EP. Lots of stress, anxiety, self-hatred, depression, misanthropy, hatred, all that stuff. So, yeah, and then around the middle of the song, it breaks into this sort of ambient bridge, which reminds me a lot of the outro of Blind by Korn. And then the song comes back, and then we get this heavy breakdown to end the song, which really reminds me a lot of Machine Head, Davidian, their song Davidian, which also has a heavy breakdown at the end. It kind of sounds similar, kind of sounds like they were going for that type of Davidian breakdown sound. Not saying they ripped them off, it's definitely unique enough, but I could see how they would be inspired by Davidian there. And then the second song, Painting the White to Grey, it's more of a slower song. Starts out with more chugging riffs, and then it breaks into this verse, which you get the drums doing a little beat, and then you get some guitars playing some dissonant chords over it. And it really reminds me a lot of the verses in Purity by Slipknot, which I'm not saying they ripped Purity off, but you can definitely tell that they were inspired by that sort of sound in the verses of Purity. And it's definitely a very heavy song. This is one of the songs that really got Chimaira off the ground. I know this got a lot of airplay on college radio at the time. And like I said earlier, they re-recorded the song for their debut major label album, Pass Out of Existence, to fulfill mechanical royalty purposes for Roadrunner Records. But it definitely played in their favor because it's one of their biggest songs, and it just helped make the song even more popular. And then you get the song Divination, which I think is about vocalist Mark Hunter's father, because in the No Fucking Regrets podcast he did with Rob Flynn of Machine Head, he opens up about how his father was sort of abusive to his mother, then they split before he was born or after he was born, something like that, because his mother didn't want him to grow up with an abusive father. So that led to a lot of frustration because his mother didn't like to tell him about his father. So that led to a lot of frustration and confusion, and I think that's really what this song is about. Very heavy song, very pissed off song. Mark's vocals on this album are out of this world. He sounds like a man possessed, just screaming his head off out of pure bitterness, and it is bone-chilling to hear. And at the end of the song, you can even hear him panting for a good 20 seconds. It's very, very emotional stuff. And then you have Sphere, the fourth song on this album, which is the second song off of this EP that they re-recorded for Pass Out of Existence, like I said, to fulfill. Roadrunner's request of 14 songs for purposes of mechanical royalties. And this one definitely is another slower song, like Pass Out of, or like Painting the White to Gray, excuse me. And man, it's really hard to pinpoint what this song is about. I think it's about maybe a love interest or a breakup or something like that. But again, very heavy, very pissed off. And at the end it goes into this very, very slow breakdown, which is very heavy. Definitely a neck breaker. And on the Pass Out of Existence version, they extend this breakdown. They slow it down. They keep slowing it down to ridiculous levels. And it's just even heavier on the Pass Out of Existence version. Definitely recommend listening to that version. And then you get Lend a Hand, which starts off with some very dissonant chords and then breaks into this really heavy verse. And again, I think this one might be about a love interest or something like that, such as lyrics are, "You are God's most beautiful creation. I knew from the moment I first laid my eyes on you, wanted to feel your arms wrapped around me," something like that. Not nailing the exact lyrics, I'm just spouting that off the top of my head. But yeah, then it goes into this clean bridge, and then Mark's vocals come back in. He sounds clean vocals, and he sounds a lot like Chester Bennington from Linkin Park mixed with Chino from Deftones on here in this bridge. Definitely very interesting. And then it breaks into the 6th track, Empty, which is actually the demo version of the song. I guess they didn't have the money to re-record the song, so they just used the demo version. Now on the original EP, this song is actually hidden. The album quote-unquote ends after the Lend a Hand, the 5th song, and then you get a few minutes of silence, and then you get the 6th song, Empty, and then a few more minutes of silence, then you get the 7th song, Silence, and then a few more minutes of silence, and then you get the hidden track on the album, Satan's Wizard, which is actually not on the re-release of the EP. This is a longer song, the longest song on the album, 6 minutes and 23 seconds. And again, just about feeling empty, hatred, depression, isolation, misanthropy. And then this also has another clean bridge, which I think they have some guest vocals on here. Again, very Deftones sounding, inspired, and it's very, very interesting. And then we get the 7th song, Silence, which is a very heavy song. It starts out with this heavy riff, like a very heavy chugging riff, which definitely lends to the nu metal sound that this album is associated with. Now, I believe that Chimaira's first 2 releases, This Present Darkness and Pass Out of Existence, I hear elements of nu metal, but I really feel like they are more influenced by groove metal. There's just too much double bass and crazy fills to be considered nu metal. Nu metal is not really known for crazy drumming. I mean, you do have bands like Slipknot, but I don't really consider Slipknot nu metal outside of their first album. So I don't know, it's more groove metal to me. The nu metal elements are there, but I wouldn't really consider them in the ranks of like a Korn or Limp Bizkit or anything like that, or any of those other nu metal bands. I really think that they are their own sound on these first 2 releases. But anyways, then you get the 8th song, Gag, which starts out with this insanely heavy riff with a pinch harmonic thrown in. And this seems to be another one about Mark's father and his growing up situation. From what I hear, he didn't really have it very good as a kid. And then you have the 9th track, Refuse to See. And yeah, this one is a lot more upbeat. And I forgot to mention, what other song on here? I think Empty. No, Silence. Silence is another one on here that's more upbeat, more thrashy. And I definitely like that sound. It definitely serves as the precursor to what Chimaira would eventually explore with Impossibility of Reason, self-titled, Resurrection Onward. A more thrashy, metalcore type sound. And yeah, so that basically does it for my track by track review. Now I'm gonna play you guys the title track. Enjoy. This is This Present Darkness by Chimaira. And we are back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. The final verdict for Chimaira This Present Darkness is going to get a 9 out of 10. This is a fantastic debut EP. This is definitely a very pissed off, angry, hungry band looking to take over the world. And that's basically exactly what they did. They had a pretty successful run in the metal underground. They never really broke into the major mainstream. They definitely stayed pretty underground for their whole career, which is not a bad thing. They had very good success there. Toured with a lot of big bands such as Slayer, Machine Head, Fear Factory, Trivium, Whitechapel, all that. Good stuff. Definitely love this EP a lot. One of my favorites. Hopefully you guys liked the review. And if you liked what you heard in that preview, please check out This Present Darkness by Chimaira and their other albums. They are a fantastic band. And I will see you guys next time for album reviews. I'm going to try to do these every Monday. Get these out for you guys. We'll see how this one does though. So, if you enjoyed this, please let me know by leaving a comment down below, requesting a review. It has to be something that I own. So I'll let you guys know if I own it or not. Because that way I'd be very familiar with it and I'd be able to fire off a review very quick. So yes, if you guys like this video, let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.